I'm indifferent to it.
That's what I'm saying. Using the tools to arrive at the conclusion and the right answers. So because something exists now, either it didn't exist all the time, or it did. There's only two binary options. They're not third. Either our universe always existed, or it didn't. You can't have a third option here.
Well, there could be one, but we just don't know how to imagine it.
So now you're not using your intellect properly. You're saying there could be other intellectual possibilities, other logical argumentation. You don't even know what these logical possibilities are. Something that you cannot even imagine or think. Don't even attempt to describe it because it doesn't even exist. Look, our logic is limited to our language and the vocabulary that we use, right? Isn't it? We construct logical axioms or rules using a human language or mathematical language, whatever you want to call it. If you have an option, say, oh, possibly there's a third option, can you describe it in mathematics and logic? You can't, because it doesn't even exist. So this is not really using your intellect properly. Your intellect properly means the faculty that you have, it only gives us two options. The universe either exists always or it didn't. Then we can move on, analyzing each option in turn. Because if it didn't always exist, then what it means is at some point this universe was non-existent. Let's take that option first. If it didn't exist, can it bring itself into existence?
I don't know much about the nature of the universe. I can't tell you.
You can't, because it didn't even exist. I assume you use your intellect. You said, yes, I have. So if something didn't even exist, it has no existence. Do you know what it means? It has nothing, zilch of any existence. No quanta, no hadron, lepton, no quarks, no fluctuations, nothing, no energy, no matter. Absolutely nothing. That's what I mean by non-existence. In the absence of all of that, it cannot then pop into existence by itself because it was nothing. There's nothing to come from. Now I would like you to use your intellect and tell me why you find it very amusing.
I just want to say that we shouldn't be closing our options at this moment, surely, due to the extent of our knowledge, worldly knowledge, scientific knowledge, religious knowledge, spiritual knowledge. There are only a few options as of now, but maybe in the future there may be more due to discoveries. So,
problem with the approach. Maybe I'm not speaking to you right now. Maybe you don't exist.
Yeah.
Why do you think I exist?
I can see you.
No, there are other options. That's an illusion. Yeah. It's a grand illusion that you are speaking in Speaker's Corner. Millions and zillions of possibilities exist. Why do you only think I exist here and I don't? I am not in existence, maybe. So can you be certain that actually? So no, the proof doesn't come in because we're talking about logical possibilities. You're saying our current understanding is this is what we know, but maybe there are others we will know future. In the future, maybe you know that there are other options that I didn't even exist. You were a brain in a jar having that discussion here. But you are actually in what? St. Charles Hospital in a brain in a jar.
The reason I'm emphasizing on this option, one option, two option, or many options, is because if you look in the past, people thought it has to be this or that. But then over time they realized, okay,
give an example.
Both of them were probably
give an example. Give an example.
Probably quantum mechanics, you know, the electron could be in two places at once. I mean, that is quite amazing. Probably 50 or 100 years ago, people never conceived of two
It's a baby science still, right?
It is baby science,
yeah.
Yes.
It's a baby science, and the way things are described is actually sometimes quite silly. Like, oh, things pop into existence. If you have no existence to begin with, you can't pop into existence. So that language they're describing is something very childish, isn't it? A scientist cannot use a language saying, oh, it was non-existent, but it pops into existence. Silly. I can say that, you know why? Because I am not afraid to talk to a scientist when they're speaking nonsense. If you have no existence of any kind, you can't pop into existence.
I mean, surely
particles pop into existence.
It could be
from where? From what? From nothing?
It could be in the nature of the particles themselves to exist and non-exist.
Wait. Let's understand one thing. If something is non-existent, can it even pop into existence? Because it's nothing to begin with. It's nothing. Unless you believe, like very deceitful approach by Professor Lawrence Krauss, the universe came from nothing. Have you read his books?
No, I haven't read his books.
Right, but that's the prophet of the scientific era today. He wants to deceive people by saying the universe came from nothing. When you go to his lectures, read his books, he says, actually, it's not nothing, it's something. So he doesn't say the universe came from nothing, it actually comes from something. So that's the deception, that's the trick. So if something is non-existent, it can't pop into existence because it's non-existent. Do you follow?
I follow that.
Right. So our universe, when I said it has either existed eternally in some form or another, or at one point it didn't exist, you think, maybe like quantum mechanics where electrons or particles or things exist in two different places. And look, here you don't have any choice. We took just the example of question of existence of God. It's a binary question. God exists, God doesn't exist. There's no in between maybe. I don't know. Who cares? That's not even an option. Answers are God exists or God doesn't exist. These are the only two binary options. So you have to be really intellectually robust in your dealing. From what I see, you need to be, look, maybe you haven't been, but you need to be. So now let's go to these options. If the universe at one point wasn't in existence at all, it will never become existent. It will be totally nothing. Our universe will never be. The fact that it is here, it means that option that is non-existent at one point is not valid. From nothing, you get nothing. If you was nothing, you will always be nothing. Nothing is not unstable, like Professor Lawrence Krauss says, because his nothing is something. So don't be deceived by, again, this kind of, philosophical trick by a scientist. He doesn't even understand what he's talking about, is he? With all respect to an eminent scientist of today, right? But I think it's just gibberish he's talking about. If you are nothing, no energy, no quanta, no fluctuation, no particles, nothing, this will always be like this. It's not going to suddenly say, I'm unstable, I'm going to become no energy, I'm going to go -1 energy, and then, so the total energy of the universe is 0. Negative concept of energy, where are you borrowing it from? There is nothing else. There is nothing else to borrow from. If you are nothing, you can't borrow from anything else because you are not existent in the first place, let alone being a sentient, thinking, choosing thing that says, I'm going to take some energy from somewhere, or let me have my rules that I need to do something. I need to be unstable. Where does this rule come from? The rule doesn't even exist because it's nothing, non-existent. The fact that the universe is here, my friend, there is only one option remaining. The universe, or whatever made that universe, whatever originated the universe, there has to be something always there, always, always. You have no escape that from intellectual reasoning. It has to be always there. The moment you say there was nothing, nothing would have resulted. Universe exists now, you and I exist, there has to be always something. The question is, what is that something?
Yes.
Yeah? It cannot be this universe because your scientists and my scientists, because they're the same scientists, are saying the universe began in some way. It expanded with about a few billion years ago, 13.7 billion years ago roughly. But before that, I can use before. Do you know why? Because if that was something, and we're saying time, place, everything existed, I'm going to use it very loosely. Was it always like this, or there was absolute nothingness? If it was absolute nothingness, it's not going to originate with an inflationary theories 13.7 billion years ago. It can't. So that means what? There was something there. Either it was the originator of the universe, or it came from another multiverse, whatever, right? So you have all these options, but eventually you will have to admit intellectually there was something always there. What are the characteristics of this something that was always there without a beginning? Now you realize we're coming to the concepts of a creator. Something always exists, it's an eternal, with no beginning. Possesses energy, because without energy nothing would have happened. If it always exists, possesses energy, did this just happen, or was a conscious choice? Was there a will involved? Was there consciousness involved?
It could have been a cause and effect. If you imagine the multiverse,
the multiverse suffers the same problem. All these bubbles, okay? What's the original point of origination? What is the cause of their existence?
You treat the multiverse as the thing which has always existed.
Okay, good.
Much like God.
Good. So this multiverse always existed, much like God. So it possessed certain characteristics.
Yes.
Did it Did it consciously originate or unconsciously?
The nature of the multiverse. Just
Is there any evidence for multiverse?
there's no evidence.
There's no evidence, exactly.
But it's an idea, and it seems to explain things.
Do you know why it's an idea?
Much like God, it's an idea which.
It's an idea to compete against the God idea, right?
Yes,
Because
yes.
the other options are, look, we've already now restricted ourselves to a few options. The universe always existed, or the creator of the universe always existed. If you say there's a creator, you have a big problem. Science cannot believe in a creator because they're very dogmatic.